Hey, welcome to the TDX podcast. I'm your host, Danny Russo, with Melinda, Elliott.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I miss doing these.
I
Uh,
know.
what's going on in the design world, Melinda?
In the design world, we're like dealing daily with tariff scares that can be, you're terrified, and I'm terrified, and clients are terrified. That was your last podcast. I thought that was a really good topic. We are dealing with that every day. So I think clients are very curious as to what's happening. Every day there's something new. I feel like we're back in COVID times again because COVID was that kind of prequel to other issues on down the road. And, I feel like we navigated through COVID fine. And I think we're going to do fine with tariffs too. So,
I agree on that. I did get an email from one of our vendors today that said they felt like we were back in COVID time again.
and
And it's changing. My God, it's changing so fast. It's changing by the hour. I think
yeah,
last week I heard that the stock market was fluctuating 1% every hour up and down because that's how fast things were changing. And it's
right.
like, we don't know what's what, but I've gotten more emails in the last 3 weeks than I have during all of COVID about lead times and stuff. But we've had so much with price increases and everybody's trying to work it out the best that they can. A lot of our vendors have gotten inventory in or maintaining their prices, but we've been seeing them raise prices every 2 weeks and then the story changes. So I think our next increase is coming up on May 1st, but who knows, that might change too.
Well, and I got an email from a company, KAS Rugs, and they're just not going to buy anything from China anymore.
Most rugs come from Turkey and India. So
Yeah.
it's hard to figure out what's where and what's going to get the
Yep.
tariff and what's not.
Yeah. I think companies, honestly, and this is just, for my observation, I think they're still using this as some kind of excuse to raise prices. They've been trying to hold them down and like, this is a good excuse now. Let's just raise prices because I feel like once they raise these prices because of the tariffs and let's say we end the tariff war in, a couple months or a year, they're not going to pull down those prices again. Once it goes up, it's up. I
I've
feel
seen
like it's just an excuse.
I've seen fuel surcharges, even when gas was down to $1 a gallon back in COVID, they were still charging fuel surcharges from 2008, but it's interesting. It's going to be a very interesting ride.
It
And we're going directly into High Point Market Week.
And I feel
That's
like for the furniture stores, it's a little scary of a time. I'm not going to High Point Market. I really don't even feel like it would be worth it because everything changes so fast. And if you go and you try to place an order, who knows whether you're going to get it or not. So we're really trying to use our sources locally and things that we know we can get our hands on right away, like local warehouses like what you have. You have inventory already there. It's places that have already built up, like Ruth Wilson's showroom or somebody else that has brought in
you
product. Yeah, we have a place called Grandview Mercantile.
when market happens, I don't think market has been so much about placing orders as it is going to meet with the vendors. And it's a lot about networking, seeing what's coming down the pipeline, seeing the trends that are out there. Bernhardt's getting ready to open a new showroom and they're going to be having a huge party because I think it's their 145th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. But they've taken over the Klossner old showroom and everybody's been moving around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been interesting
Yeah.
to see what's going on in market.
And I think
But
a lot of the vendors are really they're figuring out where we can buy this part for this item from someplace in the US so they don't have to. They're behind the scenes doing all kinds of retooling and redoing things.
but no, High Point isn't really, it used to be all about orders. And I think that is not really what they're doing. However, when I was at last market, they were looking for orders and following up. But I just actually canceled my flight and I don't know if I'm going to be able to go or not because we're actually on the Urban Living Home Tour that
Yeah.
weekend.
That's
Yeah.
right. None about that.
Next few weeks.
Yeah. My clients are all asking me, is my price going to go up? After I quote it to them. And basically I'm like, no, for now, I've got you locked in. I'm doing my due diligence as a designer
Oh,
to
yeah.
make sure that we can get the price locked in at this rate. And, I've sold the biggest job in my whole career just 2 weeks ago. And
It's
that's
interesting how
32
the
years of,
business.
so. I am excited about this year. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stuff, but what's new? We're always dealing with something. Last year it was what? Shipping along the port.
Port strikes was last
And we've been through COVID, we've been through recessions. I mean, you're going to have these up and down years, and it's just a matter of
storms in
like,
Texas that destroyed the foam creation
that
plant.
I forgot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're always going through
Time
something. It just is.
for a dull moment.
No, it isn't. That's why we are in the industry. We don't like dull moments.
No, we don't.
And as
I never
interior
know what I'm
designers,
walking
we have
into.
to develop ADHD in order to do our job. So bear with us because we're dealing
Yeah.
with all of this stuff at one time.
Let's talk about something fun. What have you seen trending lately in kitchen and baths? Like
Greens. Everybody
the-
cabinetry.
what colors?
We sold a house, a whole kitchen of billiard green. And then we had another one that sage green. And then we had another one that was blue. And we had another one that was gray. Everybody wants color and they want bright colors. And then peacock. That one, we didn't sell cabinets in peacock, but we are doing a color wash room in all the color peacock. So, as far as kitchen and baths, we're still seeing a lot of people that want the champagne bronze fixtures.
Love
They're
stuff.
not gold, they're not silver, they're not brass. It's like a soft brass. So
Champagne
that,
bronze.
yeah, and like it is just so pretty. And I really like it too. I think that's classic. Over the years, we're gonna come back and forth between silver and brass, but there's something about the color gold that just has a regalness to it.
Regal and warmness. Our options were typically only gold, black, and either nickel or chrome, but they've
Yeah.
come out with all the other new finishes. And you can actually get custom from Delta Faucets. You can get basically any color you want. I've yet to see somebody install one of these colors.
Stay tuned.
I don't know that I can get on board with that because my design aesthetic is always timeless and I want to see it age well. And I
Yeah.
feel like some of these colors, they're not going to age well. I think mixed metals is a trend that came up back in the mid 10s, the 2010, 11, 12. And I think that's stuck around and I think it's not going anywhere. And I still get people that don't think that you can mix colors, but
Yeah. I
it's
see a lot of
interesting.
mix like with black and gold together, black handles and maybe a gold faucet. And as far as
Doing that right
kitchen and
now.
bath, like everybody wants those still granite sinks. And most of my customers like the 50-50 sink split. They want the countertop and the sink to blend in with each other.
Bathroom or kitchen?
Kitchens. The
When you
50-50
say
sink.
50-50, a double bowl?
Yes. 50 and 50%, 50%. And
That's pretty timeless. You would wash dishes, rinse dishes, dry dishes.
exactly.
It's very
Yep.
rare. So happy that people are asking for farmhouse sinks, which we've now referred to as apron sinks. And we are
Yes.
now no longer calling farmhouse. We're calling it modern cottage. And it's more of a refined farmhouse. So I'm happy to see that trend popping lately.
Too. Yeah. I think mixing that modern and vintage stuff together is kind of fun to play with,
Oh, yeah.
like wood. I mean, most people are doing all those black windows.
Most
We had-
people, all people.
Yeah, they're doing the black windows when they get new windows. That is definitely a heavy trend that I see right now. And I don't see that going away anytime soon.
No,
So
I don't either.
yeah.
Thank God you know how to do blackout curtains, black
Background
backgrounds.
shades, black background curtains. Yes. Yep.
What's
So
going
that
on in window world?
in the window treatment world, we are seeing a resurgence of valances. I have seen a lot on a lot of workroom groups. People are doing swags again. And it's
Really?
coming back. Yeah. Because If you think about it, luxury, like that luxury market is kind of with golds and things like that. People are wanting that like luxurious look up again. So we see a lot of trim, but the trim are like flat bands that you put along the edge of a plain window treatment, like a plain
Yeah,
drape.
yeah, Nick.
So we've got a lot of those bandings in stock for people to choose from. We're actually doing a lot with different background linings now. I've got every color in the world of a lining so we can match the back the house color, whether
Yeah,
it's stucco or whatever. That's been really kind of fun.
I love doing
I
that.
I have this designer I've been working for, and all he wants to do are grommet top drapes.
I don't know what Tyler does, but I'm sure that's what he's doing. I kind of feel like those look like shower curtains, but I love to do other versions of that. But that look is really great when it's done with a ripple fold,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
every designer does their own thing.
We do
Um,
invertedly a lot of inverted panels.
Talk about what a lot of people don't know about the window industry and about the cord situation. I just did a client's job where we had to reuse their curtains and they wanted them to be motorized. And I found a product that I was actually interested in. I wanted to do it myself. And I went over and hung it on an 18-foot ceiling and dropped one of the robots and it hit me right in the head. But there were these robots that controlled the draperies. What are you seeing when it comes to technology? I've been educating my clients because cords are no longer allowed.
Correct.
Tell me why and how that's affecting.
Well, it was a couple years ago that they started passing these laws that it's the Cord Safety, Window Covering Cord Safety Act. And so they're basically saying that on the back of Roman shades, there's cords that go from one, you're sewn from one point to another. And so kids, animals, and things like that were getting their heads or their arms or whatever stuck in between the fabric and that cord, getting them wound up, maybe twisting because they're nervous, they don't know how to get out. You see people like traverse pulleys that like they would come from the top of the rod down all the way to the baseboard and back up in this one big loop. So those cords, people were getting caught up and had a lot of deaths in the world because of it. I feel like it's a good idea to get away from the cords. So now the cords are enclosed. There's all these rules about how you can't have exposed cords and they can't even be like, you can't have them any like sewn any closer than 6 inches apart from each other. So in our world, we are doing a lot of faux valances that look like
Camera
these.
shut off. You can keep talking.
So they have actually decided that it's better.
But back to our cable conversation. So the chain link operation method of blinds, is that out now and everything has to be done with the internal components with light rise and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yep. So we have a lot of everything's cordless or motorized. And we have to be careful with the motorized stuff because the people that want hardwired motorized, it's a plug that goes from the top of the, shade all the way to the cord, plug it in. So we're back to that again. I don't know if it'll ever change totally, but it is one of those things that it's changing, every year.
Yeah.
But we have definitely seen an increase in motorized shades. I have older people, especially coming in and asking for the blinds to be motorized. It's very smart for them because it's hard. Now we have a lot of different kinds of motorized options. Some are plug-in wands. Some are rechargeable batteries, like lithium ion batteries. They used to come in packs that you would like plug in all like 16 AA batteries in a pack.
I have to go to my neighbor's tonight to change his batteries because I was over his house the other night and I couldn't figure out why the blinds weren't working. I had to change batteries on the remote. And then I went to put them back up and I'm like, why aren't these going down? And I pulled out the battery wand. Oh, battery wand has 16 AA batteries. So that's 4 blinds. And I'm like, oh my God, now I got to replace all these too. So
So what we've
Um,
gone to is a lithium rechargeable battery, and it is so much nicer. I buy them an extra one. So they get
yeah,
a dual plug,
that
dual charging station. They keep one charged all the time. And when one goes bad, you plug it in, you take the other one out and plug it in. So you don't have any downtime with that at all. That's been really, really cool.
have you done a lot with solar power?
No, I
Like,
haven't done anything with that yet.
I haven't seen them in a useful application yet.
Uh,
Every time
They
I've tried to
haven't
use them,
trained us
not.
on. I'm waiting for that. There's also some new products that Hunter Douglas is coming out with LED lights in
You were telling me about those.
in the
Are they
headrail.
with, are they in the cells of the shade?
No, they're in the top of the headrail,
So they just
but they
shine
kind
down?
of illuminate. It's really kind of interesting, and I'm not sure exactly what the use of that's going to be because it kind of confuses me. I'm like, I guess you're blocking out the light. You don't want more in, but I don't know. A lot of people. So I do have a client whose house is such tall ceilings and big that they don't have a lot of ways to lighten the room to add
Right, right,
light.
right.
So this might be another option that they could do.
I would think that would create an ambient light for home and give it a nice feel. A lot of people forget about the ambient layer of light, and that's
Right.
one of the most important layers
It is.
to
It
focus
is.
on. But
So I feel
that's going
like
to be
a lot of people are adding LED light trim to the bottom of crown molding too.
in that on the bottom of crown molding, on the top of crown molding, along the baseboards, the
Yeah.
toe kick on cabinets, under cabinets.
Yep.
We're doing that on everything. I've been doing it for about, oh my God, I have so many LED tubes that I've tested and learned how to cut them at the right angle. I love everything's getting LED lights put into them in some way, Wi-Fi
Right.
controlled. And
They could be kind of pricey. We were going to add LED lights at the bottom of
yeah,
floating shelves, and our contractor said there were 6 shelves, and he had to put in a transformer for this, and then the wiring for 6 shelves that were like 6 foot long each. It was going to be $6,500.
I just had a kitchen and bath news magazine in my hand and I showed it to Caden. I go, this is what I want my bathroom shelves to be. And they were advertising floating shelves with LEDs recessed into them that you can get.
Really?
I thought that was quite interesting. So what do you see happening in bathrooms at the moment?
Oh,
We didn't go to Cable. I didn't, this is the first year I didn't go to Cable since 2017. And I'm actually quite relieved because it could be such a pain to drag yourself out to Vegas and then you're just walking and walking. That convention center is so big. Next year it's going to be nice. Actually, you should go because it's going to be one of the last years. It's going to be in Orlando, and
right.
I want to rent a house that has a pool and like a bunch of bedrooms, and then actually get to go to Universal and maybe Disneyland. I don't know. I'm not a Disney
Oh, yeah.
person, but Universal
Yeah.
has the new studios.
Yeah, that would be quite nice. So, as far as kitchen and baths, we aren't working on any of those right now. I don't have anything new that I can say, but I've seen a lot of people adding lots of color washing the whole bathroom or papering. We do have 1 or 2 jobs. We're doing a powder room and an upstairs bathroom, and she's wallpapering all the walls and the ceiling. Wallpaper is definitely back, especially in bathrooms, especially in powder rooms. Right, Danny?
I'm very aware.
And
With my drunken monkeys, I'm doing a bathroom that has monkeys that are smoking cigarettes, smoking cigars, smoking marijuana, drinking vodka, having dirty martinis, and we're also putting a condom machine into the room. It's a very fun powder room.
Well,
Still
and you
done.
have that color green, that billiard
Yeah,
green. Like
I
that is
love
a
it.
huge color right now. So I feel like I'm back in the 80s again. I let the wine color, like burgundies and greens
Oh
and
my God, the rust. I was reading all the things that are coming out at High Point. The rusty orange colors coming back.
the color behind you. You're in your sofas.
Oh yeah, I'm at my penthouse in Malibu right now.
Uh,
Yeah, that green, that orange that's behind me, but more of a deeper red rust color
Yeah,
is
I love that. I have that in my house. A lot. A lot of people like these dark wood cabinets too. They want the wood color, like walnut or oak. They want to see the wood color. And we're doing that a lot on vanities. We'll do everything else in a different color, but that one vanity is wood. Light wood, dark wood, blonde, medium wood. I don't see harvest oak coming back anytime soon, though.
No.
Thank
Yeah.
God. I'm still trying to get rid of harvest oak.
And that orange maple.
And why builders put that in every single house? Every time I walk in, I'm like, harvest oak, here we go.
I'm actually getting bored with some of these homes. It's like the same floor plan, the same cabinets, the same builder grade carpet, the same boob light.
Yes, exactly.
And then I can
Yep.
tell who the builder was by the type of boob light, because there's the modern boob light, which is flat on the bottom that still has the nipple. And then you have the classic boob.
I like the white cabinets that you can see every crack. And they didn't even caulk them together. It was like, oh, we're just going to throw these cabinets together and away we go. And then laminate. I feel like laminate countertops are trying to come back, but I'm really not feeling that whatsoever. Sorry.
Laminate's not a bad word these days.
Good. In some situations, but I sure hope it's not going to come back for kitchens.
I'm with you there.
Oh, we need to talk about the new technology for kitchens and charging things underneath the countertops. There's a new technology. What would you call it, Danny? A mat. It's like a charging mat installed up underneath the countertop.
It's basically, it's using the MagSafe technology that Apple brought out. Mac started putting it into their phones a few years ago. In the past, you were able to buy cables, and everything's now charged wirelessly. It's a technology that's not there yet. It doesn't charge as fast, but we have products that are out that we can put under your counters, and they're built in. You can charge your peripherals like your phones, your iPad, I don't know if iPads are even, can you charge an iPad wirelessly? No. But thank you guys for listening in. I hope we've taught you something. Follow the TDX podcast, the Design Exchange. We've shortened it to TDX Pod. You can visit our website, tdxpodcast.com. You can follow Melinda on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Anything else you want to add, Melinda?
Follow you too.
Yeah, me, follow Danny Russo, Daniel Russo Home. All right, it's been a great chat, and we will be talking to you soon. Enjoy decorating and designing.
Bye.
Bye.